Developed the questionnaire over a long period of years. It is brief, but it gives me a complete picture of the prospect's situation, and also some ideas of his immediate plans and future objectives. I go through the questions as rapidly as possible. It takes me from 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how much he talks. Do not hesitate to ask, what minimum monthly income would your wife need in the event of your death? Minimum monthly income for yourself at age 65? What is the present value of your estate? Stocks, bonds, other securities? Real estate? Mortgages? Cash on hand? Earned annual income? Your life insurance? How much do you pay out each year for insurance? You need have no fear of asking the same kind of intimate questions that apply directly to your particular business if you prepare your prospect for them with an approach talk similar to the one I have given above. I put the paper back in my pocket in the same manner that I take it out. My last question, with a smile, what do you do when you are not working, Mr. Kothi? In other words, do you have a hobby? The answer to this question frequently becomes valuable to me at a later date. While he is answering that question, I return the questionnaire to my pocket. I never show it to the prospect in the first interview. His curiosity, in the meantime, will develop to such an extent that it will improve my chances in the second interview. After I complete the information, I get out as soon as I can. I say, "Thank you for your confidence, Mr. Kothi. I'm going to give this some thought. I think I've got an idea that may be of value to you, and after I work it out, I'll give you a call for an appointment. Is that satisfactory?" And his answer generally is, yes. I use my judgment as to whether I should arrange a definite appointment at that very moment for a later date, say for the following week. Important. These questionnaires should be kept in a file, just like a doctor keeps a complete record of his patients. It provides you with information about your customer that progresses with the success of the man himself. And I have found as these men grow, they look forward to telling you about their progress. They know, when you are sincerely interested, that you are one person with whom they can discuss their problems and share their success and happiness. I don't believe the approach talk should be memorized, but I do believe it should be written out and read several times each day. Then suddenly, one day, you know it. If you learn it that way, it will never sound canned. Give your talk to your wife. Rehearse it over and over with her until you know it so well it becomes part of you. Summed up, don't try to throw the hawser, throw the heaving line. Interview. Sale before the sale. The approach must have only one objective: selling the sales interview. Not your product, your interview. It is the sale before the sale.
We gotta train every day.
26. The secret of making appointments.
Get your brain right.
I have been going to the same barber every week for the past 31 years. A man named Ruby Day. An uncle started him out as an apprentice when he was only 9 years old. He was so short he had to stand on a stool. Ruby's customers think he is probably one of the world's best barbers. In addition, he is a ray of sunshine. In spite of these qualities, back in 1927, Ruby was going downhill fast. His business had become so bad, and he was so low financially, he couldn't pay his rent for 4 months. And the owner of the building where he had his little one-man shop was threatening to throw him out. One Friday afternoon, while he was cutting my hair, I noticed that he looked ill. I asked him what was wrong, and finally he confessed to me the awful fix he was in. On top of all this, his wife had just given birth to a new baby boy, Ruby Jr. While we were talking, another customer stopped in and wanted to know how soon he could get fixed up. Ruby assured him it wouldn't be long, so reluctantly, the customer sat down and began reading one of the magazines. I said, "Ruby, why don't you work by appointment?" "Oh, Mr. Betcher," he replied, I can't work by appointment. People won't make an appointment with a barber. Why not? I asked. That's all right for a doctor or lawyer, he said, but people just won't make an appointment with a barber. I don't know why not, I insisted. I thought the same thing about my business until another salesman convinced me it was the only way to work. Your customers like your work, Ruby, and they like you, but they don't like to wait. I'll bet this man here would be glad to make an appointment with you for a definite time each week. Wouldn't you? Sure, nodded the customer.
100.
He and Ruby quickly agreed on a standing date each week.
Trying to hit 100.
There you are, I said enthusiastically. Now put me down for 8 every Friday morning. The next day, Ruby had an appointment book and began calling up all his old customers, many of whom hadn't been in his shop for months. Gradually, he was able to get that appointment book dated up with a full schedule, and his financial worries became a thing of the past. For 20 years now, he has worked exclusively by appointment. He has trained his customers to expect it. They like it that way, because it saves them time. Today, R.B. Ruby Day owns his beautiful little home outright at 919 Fox Chase Road, Hollywood, Pennsylvania. And he gives you the impression of being a substantial, happy businessman. I told this story one night in a sales school we were conducting in Pasadena, California. There was a taxi driver in the school. At the close of the week, he came backstage to see us and said, "I am a businessman now." We asked him what he meant. "Well," said he, "after I heard that talk on Tuesday night, I thought, if a barber was able to make appointments, I should try it." The next morning, I took the president of a large company over to Glendale to catch a train. Driving over, I asked him how long he would be away. He said he'd be coming back the same night and agreed to let me take him home. That night, he seemed pleased as I let him off at his home and gave me a nice tip. I found out that he made this trip every week and sometimes found it hard to get a taxi. So I made a set date for this same job every week. Besides, he gave me names of other executives of his company for me to call for appointments. When I phoned, I told them I was calling at the suggestion of their president. By making these calls, I got 2 other jobs the following morning. Today, I bought an appointment book, and I'm going to build a list of regular jobs like your barber did. Now I feel like a businessman. I made this same suggestion to my haberdasher. Soon, most of his customers were coming in by definite appointment. These men found just what I found, and thousands of others in almost every line of business have found people prefer to work by appointment. It saves time, helps eliminate a lot of the tragic waste of time most salesmen worry about. Likewise, it saves the customer's time. By asking for an appointment, we let the customer know we realize he is busy. Instinctively, he places more value on our time. When I have an appointment, I get a better hearing, and the man has more respect for what I say. It makes each call an event. An appointment raises the salesman out of the class of a peddler. My old roommate, Miller Huggins, was noted in baseball for being a great leadoff man because he got on base so often. By getting on base so often, naturally, he scored more runs on the average than most other players. In selling, I found that making appointments is like getting on base. The foundation of sales lies in getting interviews, and the secret of getting good, attentive, courteous interviews is in selling appointments. Appointments are much easier to sell than radios, vacuum cleaners, books, or insurance. After I got that clear in my mind, a great relief came over me. I stopped swinging for a home run. I merely tried to get on first base. When I phone someone I know, I simply ask for the appointment and usually get it without being questioned. But if it is someone I have never met, he invariably asks, "What is it you want to see me about?" There is the critical moment of the approach. As sure as I indicate that I want to sell something, I'm licked right there, and the chances of getting an appointment later are ruined.
100
The
subs.
truth of it
We
is,
need to hit
I
it.
may not know whether he
Hit that
needs
like
what I am selling,
and hit that
so the
subscribe
purpose of an
if you
appointment is
enjoyed
merely for a
these
discussion.
100 push-ups.
Yet, even
And
to
if you
this
didn't get a
day,
workout
I
in for
must be
today,
on my guard
make
not to
sure
allow myself to be
that
drawn
you're
into a
getting in
sales
one
talk on the phone.
good
I must concentrate on
exercise
one
session
thing
per day.
and one thing
Get your
alone,
mind right,
selling an
get your money
appointment.
right. I mean, get your mind right.
Let me give you a
Get your
typical
body
example.
right. Get your money right.
The other day, I was
JSmoove
able to
out.
get a man on the phone who has been traveling on business by plane at the rate